Hi there. So not long ago we talked about adding Auth.js and Zeta to an Next.js app, and now we're gonna continue working on that little app to add row-level security. So row-level security is needed for many kinds of apps, either that you have like multi-tenant databases or you're dealing with like sensitive or private user information. Every now and then you need to silo access, you need to control access. There's also a Smashing article that I published on Smashing Magazine, linked right below the subscribe button or the like button if you already subscribed. And now let's implement row-level security. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is come here to our Zeta UI and create a new table now for a to-do list. I know we're tired of to-do lists, but that's a very good contrived example, so bear with me. So what we're gonna do is start an empty table, and I'm gonna call it to-dos. And what we need to do is add a few columns. So the first one is gonna be message, and let's keep it as is. And then the second one we're gonna add is gonna be a date where it's gonna be created at. Awesome. And now let's have a Boolean one. Default is gonna be false, and it's gonna be the done. And finally, we want to add a link because we're gonna link to the user. So this one is gonna be actually the author of our to-do list. We're gonna link inside our next auth users, so every registered user can have one. So now what we have is, now we have our to-dos ones, we have all the other links that already exist. Now in our to-dos, you can see that every to-do belongs to a user. Awesome. Ready to jump into the code. So back into VS Code, you can see in my Zeta extension, I already have my table run here, and but I don't have in my generated, I don't have the new table. So that's how we're gonna start. We're gonna run this Zeta code gen. There you go. So now we have our to-dos, and you can see the schema is already defined. We have the link, we have everything created here. So our types should work. So now what we're gonna do is add this server only. Server only is this package. Make sure that files are only going to run on the server. So what we're gonna do here is create this new DB server TS, and in this DB we are gonna get a new Zeta client, and we are gonna import the server only here, because this is gonna throw an error in build if we ever import this file on some client code. The Zeta client is already going to blow up if you try to use it on the client-side code, because it needs the process.env to work, which is something that's Node.js specific, but having this redundancy is good. So we guarantee we're not importing, and we're gonna guarantee a fail at build time instead of runtime. So now the first thing we need to do is fetch these to-dos. So now we're gonna create this fetch to-dos, which is obviously gonna be an asynchronous function, and it's gonna take an email, which is a string, and now we're gonna get our Zeta to-dos, and we are gonna filter it. We're gonna filter it by author email. Once this is done, I also wanna sort them. So we wanna sort them by created at, and we want a descendant order. This is awesome. So now we need to get the paginated version, and I'm gonna pass here on the options the pagination object, and I can set my size to be, I don't know, 50. So now that we're done, and actually the pagination is gonna return also with the cursor, and for now we only need the records. So that's it. So now we're able to fetch the to-dos. And now let's go to our in page, and we already have the session here. So now what we need to do is get this user to-dos, and we're gonna fetch the to-dos. Now I'll have to add another check here to make sure that my user has an email. And you notice that I'm not awaiting this promise. This is on purpose, because what we're gonna do is some streaming stuff, because we're gonna use the suspense. So in here, to-do ID, and then here in the fallback, we are gonna pass. So now we have the fallback, which is like just a loading string. You can pass a React component over here, and then we are awaiting the to-dos inside our loading, our suspense boundary. So then it's gonna be streaming down. Let's go into our database, a new record. It's gonna be my ID. So now what we need to do is insert a record. There we go. And here we have our Eat Pizza one. We can even do like a few more of those. So there we go. We are adding data for our users, that all of them, the relationships are defined. I have my author ID, I have my to-do ID. Let's add now a new user. So now we have a new user. We are gonna go and insert, and on the author, that users. So now we insert the record again. We can actually see the data here. We see it belongs to a user. So, and I cannot see that over here because that user doesn't have my email. So this is how you do, like, because you can see everything is on the same database, but each tenant can only see whatever is there for them, whatever is their to-do list. So this app is by no means like real use case. We would need more features, like how to update a record to set a to-do as done, how to delete a to-do, and how to add new to-dos. Those methods you would need in this case to create a route handler, or an API route, depending on which the routing architecture you prefer for your Next.js app. But as of now, you already have row-level security. So let me know in the comments below if you would be interested in walking through adding more features to this little app. But for now, I hope you had fun, that you have something you can build upon. This code is going to be pushed to a repository on GitHub. Check right below the like button, where's the link, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.